Biting is a phase that many toddlers go through, and it can be frustrating to parents since they may worry that their child is going to bite a friend, family member, sibling, or even a random child. But there are ways to get your toddler to stop biting. The way you respond makes a massive difference in whether or not your child keeps biting or completely stops. When you respond early and in the right way, you can stop your child from biting very quickly. The way you should be responding to your child's biting is not a natural response, and how many parents normally respond to their child biting doesn't stop their child from biting, but actually encourages it. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can reduce your child's biting behavior. Now, I could just give you the tips and you can go on your merry way. However, that would not serve you in the slightest. Knowing the tips but not the reasons behind your child's biting behavior isn't going to give you the success that you're looking for. So it's important that we first cover why your toddler bites. Just because your toddler bites doesn't mean that you are a bad parent or that your toddler is bad or mean. I know it can feel embarrassing and maybe you take your toddler's biting a little personally, but the truth of the matter is that biting is actually normal behavior for toddlers. It's important to keep in mind that toddlers are learning lifelong skills such as emotional regulation, self-control, empathy, logical reasoning, and the list goes on. These are not skills that are learned overnight. It takes continued practice. That is why these skills are called lifelong skills. Toddlers do generally find it challenging to manage their emotions. They are impulsive and reactive. They don't know yet how their actions can harm another. And since toddlers mostly live in the emotional center of the brain until they are between the ages of 4 and 5, they don't think with logic. Now, I'm not saying that they can't think with logic, but they need a parent's guide. Toddlers are still learning words to help them communicate what they need and how they are feeling. Because of this, toddlers communicate through their actions. Every action your toddler does, such as biting, hitting, throwing, kicking, screaming, crying, pushing, etc., is all a form of communication. Developmentally, toddlers in this stage of life have their brains function with a cause and effect. So if a toddler bites, the cause, and as a parent, you respond quickly with loud voices, expressive faces, and big movements, the effect, the toddler has learned that they can get their parent's immediate response. That is why biting is such an effective action, since they get an immediate response to their action from biting their parents, siblings, or peer. When you think about it, it makes sense why toddlers bite. If your toddler bites, they either get what they are wanting or can avoid something they don't want, such as another child taking their toy. A toddler who bites is not trying to mean or intentionally hurt another person. They bite because they don't know how to deal with a difficult moment in their lives. The thing that most parents unknowingly encourage their toddler's biting behavior because they are responding to their toddler's biting in a way that promotes more biting than helping their toddler to stop biting. Think about how you respond to your toddler biting. A normal response from an adult is they immediately lecture their toddler on why biting is wrong. Punishment is given to help stop this behavior, such as a timeout or a spank, or a parent may bite their toddler back. These three responses that toddlers often get from their parents or adult are very big responses. Even though these responses are natural responses, they are actually not serving you as a parent, which only leads to your child continuing to bite and parents feeling the need to lecture more, give harsher punishments, or close off because their child bites and they are embarrassed and unsure how to deal with their toddler's biting. Now, the reasons these three reactions increase the chance of your child biting in the future is that your child's biting got you to stop what you were doing and, in a sense, create a big scene that your toddler finds very interesting. Since toddlers are curious, they want to see if they can get that same reaction as before, so they end up biting again. Now, even though a toddler during this moment is receiving negative attention from their parent or caregiver, they still got attention. Another reason why toddlers bite is because parents often try to educate their toddlers on why biting is wrong and what they can do instead right after their child has bitten someone. However, this is not the time to educate your child. This is because your toddler is in a very high emotional state. When children are in this upset emotional state, their brains are closed off from being able to learn a new skill. So it's best to wait until you and your child have calmed down to do the teaching. It's also important to avoid using too many words. Oftentimes when parents are trying to help their child find different ways to express their emotions without biting, parents tend to use a lot of words. That can confuse a child and they will stop listening, so the new skill is not being learned and your toddler resorts back to biting. Using physical punishment such as spanking or biting your toddler back may stop your toddler from biting when you are around, but they can continue to bite because they haven't learned why they shouldn't bite or what to do instead of biting. The use of physical punishment also teaches children that using violence is acceptable behavior for solving problems and will use aggression or violence to solve any problems that may arise. Now, as you can see, how you respond to your toddler's biting can be encouraging it rather than stopping it. So let's look at how you can respond instead to reduce the biting. It's a given that when you see your toddler bite, you or someone else is going to respond pretty quickly. The trick is to respond quick but calm. Here are the steps to take. Step number 1, go to your child immediately but calmly. Step 2, get to your toddler's eye level. Step 3, using a sharp tone of voice, say no bite or no biting. Notice here that there is a difference between responding sharply to your child and responding with anger. You want to be sharp, not mean, angry, or react with big gestures. Step number 4, name it to tame it. By stating what you saw happen and name the emotion that they may be feeling. Step number 5, state the boundary. Biting is not okay. Step number 6, ensure everyone's safety. There are 2 very important things to know in this 6-step process. First, it's super important to get down to your child's level, because when you are standing over your child, this can be intimidating and overwhelming for your child, and that can move your child into a fight, flight, or freeze response. The second important thing to remember is to name their emotions. This is because once an emotion has been named, it can reduce the emotion that they are feeling and help your toddler start learning the name for the emotions they are feeling in their body. So here is an example of how this 6-step process may go. You have done steps 1 through 3. So this is starting at step 4. Name it to tame it. I can see that you are really angry that Sarah took your car. Okay, step 5. State the boundary. It is okay to be angry, but it is not okay to bite. I can see that you are really angry that Sarah took your car. It is okay to be angry, but it's not okay to bite. Step number 6, ensure everyone's safety. Once you have stated the boundary, next is to move on to safety. If you are the one your toddler is biting, then you would gently set them on the ground and move away and state, I can't let you bite me. Now, if your toddler is biting a sibling or a parent, you would say, Sarah and I are moving over here until you can play safely again. This works because you are not directly giving attention to your toddler. So instead of having a big response to your toddler's biting, you are moving your attention away from the behavior. You are addressing them with empathy and making a very clear statement to your toddler that their behavior is not going to give them the attention or response they are looking for. Your toddler learns that when they bite, they will not get the toy, the treat, the turn they want, or the attention from you when they have bitten someone. Just like I mentioned previously, you are not going to teach your child why they shouldn't bite right after the incident. You are going to talk with your toddler about the incident once they have calmed down. This is a crucial step and should not be missed, since this is where the real teaching comes into play. You are going to talk with your toddler about the incident and work together to help them learn new ways to manage that don't involve them biting. If this step is missed, your toddler is likely going to keep biting, since it's a very effective way for them to get what they want, and if they don't know other ways to manage their emotions, they are going to keep doing what has worked in the past, which is biting. So this is how this last step may look. I could see that you were really angry at Sarah this afternoon because she took your car. What are some other ways you can tell Sarah that you are still playing with the car? Maybe you could say, I'm still playing with that car. It's still my turn. You can have a turn when I'm done. Or, I'm not done. If Sarah doesn't listen, come and find me and I can come and help. Just because you have talked about it with your toddler doesn't mean they're going to get it the first time. These new skills need to be practiced, and a great way to practice these new skills is to role play with your toddler. So get on the floor with your toddler and role play the scenario you see in your home a lot that results in your toddler biting. For now, we're going to use the example we have been using in this video. So you'll get on the ground with your toddler and tell them you are going to pretend to be Sarah, and you are going to take the car from them. You take the car and have your toddler practice saying one or two of the solutions you both came up with. Tell your toddler to say to you once you have taken the car, I'm not done, it's still my turn. Then you go ahead and practice, and the more you can role play different scenarios, the better your toddler will get at these new skills, and you will see that their biting behavior has decreased or even stopped completely. When you see your toddler using these new skills throughout their day, take notice and praise them, since when children are praised for something they did well, it encourages the behavior. You could say something like, Cole, you did a great job telling Sarah that you were not done playing with that toy yet. Or, wow, Cole, great job at taking turns with Sarah. It is also common among toddlers to bite when they are throwing a tantrum. To learn how to handle your toddler's tantrums, check out this video right here. Also, if you would like to learn more about gentle parenting and how to set boundaries that stick, how to get your children to listen and obey the first time, check out my parenting book called Parenting Without Drama. Click the link in my bio to learn more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.